I don't care how you did it. If you go through the halfway faster than you can average for the whole thing, you went out too fast. It's a hard lesson to learn. Even a guy who was this good, like the best collegiate runner, going to the Olympic trials, even he sucked at pacing. But when he changed it, he got that much better, broke his own American record, became unstoppable. Everybody at a marathon, positive splits. I mean, virtually everybody. And like, what's the reason? What do you think the reason is? You feel good at the start. Yeah, but you know that you want to hit a slower pace. So how you feel shouldn't matter because you chose to go slower, but then you didn't. So why do you think that is? I don't want to hold back. I want to give everything I got, right? Like Prefontaine, he says this in Without Limits, because Prefontaine always went out like a bat out of hell, and he'd be leading the race like one lap in by a lot. And everybody's like, oh my God, look at that guy. And he gets his ego inflated because he's the guy way out in front. Okay. Now, Bowerman hated this and threatened to kick him off the team because he said, like, you SOB, like, you're dumb. You're out there running, you're front running. And he tried to get him to reel it in, And Prefontaine would never reel it in. He'd be like, F you, Bill, because I'm the best. And he'd just go out like a bat out of hell. And he'd win most of the time. But Bill Bowerman knew that he could be better, knew that he could go to the Olympics. So eventually, they had a conversation, okay? The two of them had a conversation. There was a real conversation. It's also in the movie. And it goes something like this. Bill Bowerman says to him,
where does this compulsion come from?
What compulsion?
Front running.
Look, Bill. Running any other way is just plain chicken shit.
Chicken shit?
Chicken shit. What else do you call laying back for 2.5 miles and then stealing a race in the last 200 yards?
Winning!
Well, I don't want to do that.
You don't want to win?
I don't want to win unless I know I've done my best. And the only way I know to do that is to run out front and flat out till I have nothing left. Winning any other way is chicken shit.
But you hear that conversation is that Prefontaine believed that you're a wuss unless you run hard from the beginning, because that's what men do. But guess what? He was going to get his ass kicked at the Olympic trials by George Young. Now, George Young was the world record holder in the 2 mile. And this is only a 5K. It's only a little bit longer. George Young is going to kill Prefontaine if it comes down to a kick, because Pre didn't have a very good kick. So Bowerman finally said to him, look, you can run a new American record.
That's 7 seconds faster than the American record, my American record.
Your American record.
How do I do that?
And Bill Bowerman says, you gradually increase your pace. Go out easy for once in your life. 30, whatever, 63s. And then depending on where you are, drop to 62s and then drop to 61s. And then bring the fire at the end. And Prefontaine, for once in his life, he listened. And he ran a negative split for the first time ever. And he won the Olympic trials. He set an Olympic trials record. He set an American record. He broke his own American record by 7 seconds. Exactly the amount of time that his very intelligent coach knew that he could break it if he paced it appropriately. It got him to the Olympics. Then he screwed up at the Olympics and he paced it inappropriately there, but that's an art form. At the Olympics, it's not about pacing, it's about competition. So that whole story, I hope you were entertained a little bit, but the point of that story is even a guy who was this good, like the best collegiate runner, going to the Olympic trials, even he sucked at pacing. But when he changed it, he got that much better. Broke his own American record, became unstoppable. But that's Prefontaine's story for like how he became even better. So you can do the same, but you still have a component of the ego that makes you go out fast, because it's hard to slow yourself down because you know that you could be up there with the faster people. You're not back here with these slower people who you shouldn't be running with them, because you can be up there. So let's get where I belong and get by and weave through these slower people, and because I belong up here with the other people running as hard as me. Yeah, we're faster. Look at all them slowpokes behind us. And then you become the slowpoke. But it doesn't hurt that much because everybody becomes the slowpoke. So you kind of just get to stay up front, or whatever front is for you. You get to stay in the place that you think you should be at, and everybody slows down together and you just get to stay there. So you think that's where you belong. But the mature runner knows that everybody's going to slow down, so goes out at what an appropriate pace is and has to take some humility in order to be much further back than they know that they could be, and much further back than they should be, because they know that they're as fit as those runners up there, and they have to be patient. Everybody else is going to die and they're going to accelerate. And then that's where you go from 70th place to 50th to first This is what I did in that 12-hour run. I went from 7th to 4th, 3rd, 2nd, found myself in 1st, finished 2nd. Okay? I was going even. I actually positive split, but everybody else positive split so much that I just reined them in. And I'll leave you with this. You can do the same. Conservative pacing early on, and you just crank and you just go through, and then you rise to the top. So, but it takes humility. You can see that because you have to choose to be in a position where you don't belong to be.
Take control, take a shot, what you waiting for? Keep it real, never go fake this till we make it, till we make it.